This is the outside of the Benimar Mileo 286. As I move along, I will firstly come to the gas locker. As you can see, there is plenty of room in here for 2 gas bottles. The regulator just sits here, and then the hose comes off the regulator and screws into the propane bottle, which is tightened with a gas spanner, and then bottle on and off on the top just here. Do make sure that the bottle is isolated for travel. We then have the fresh water tank fill just here. As you can see, the filler cap can be locked. Just pop your hose pipe in here to fill the tank up, and then the fresh water tank drains down underneath the motorhome. So if I now just pop underneath, you'll see the green cap just there. Just unscrew it to drain the tank down. We then have both vents for the fridge freezer. As this is a fully winterized motorhome, it is supplied with winter covers for the fridge vents. So these need to be used if you are using the motorhome in extremely cold climate. This will help the fridge run efficiently. To use these, slide the black clips out of the way and then remove the fridge vent itself. Take the winter cover and then just pop it in at an angle and put it into place, and then start at the bottom, hook the vent back on, and then slide the black clips back across again so it then locks back into place, and then do exactly the same again on the top vent. These are also very handy to have on when the motorhome is in storage. Stops any debris from blowing into the vents themselves, and they can also be very handy when washing the motorhome as well. Do make sure that these vents are removed when the motorhome is in use in the warmer weather, or otherwise the fridge will just overheat and not run correctly. Grey water drain just here, so anything that goes down the plug holes goes into the holding tank and then is drained off at this point here. We then have the corner steady wind point just here for the 2 corner steadies. You can see that the other one is already down on the other side. And then above that we have the cassette toilet. To remove the cassette, just lift up on the blue lever just here and pull towards you. Before use, remove the cap and add your toilet chemical with a small amount of water. This is also where it empties from as well. Just remember that when you are pouring the cassette away, to hold the button in just here to release the vacuum inside. It's also advisable to keep this seal lubricated. Thetford do their own seal lubricant, but any silicone based lubricant is fine. And by turning this part here, gains access inside the cassette for additional cleaning. If anything was to wrap itself up around the float mechanism, which will make the cassettes look full all the time, by turning this part here you can remove the float to clean it. All of these cassettes now are on wheels with pull-up handles. Next we have access to the garage area. You can see we have the spare wheel just located here. And then sitting just above that is the jack and wheel brace kit. As I come round to the rear, we have the reverse camera just here, and then we have the Fiamma bike rack. To use this, just drop the rails and then pop the bikes onto the rails and then secure these straps around the wheels. As you can see, they can slide about depending on the size of the bike, and then attach these arms to the frames. Again, we have a larger access point to the garage on this side. You can see the freestanding table just there. Then we have the ladder for the drop-down bed. Also in here you can see that we have 12-volt socket and a main socket just here. And if you have the heating on, you can also blow warm air into here as well. Up here we have the storage compartment for the bed boards for the second bed. As you can see, I've wound that corner steady down. External barbecue point and shower point just here. And then we have the mains hookup point just here. Just remember that when removing the hookup, to also push down on this blue lever just here to allow it to release. And then we have the flue for the trimmer boiler. We do not need to do anything with this. There's no covers or anything that need to be removed. Just make sure that nothing is obstructing it. At the top here we then have the Fiamma roll-out canopy. To roll the canopy out, firstly take the winding handle and then just hook it in at this point here, and then just begin to wind the canopy out. As you can now see, I've wound the canopy out a short distance. I always prefer to do this first and then drop the legs and then continue winding it out, walking the legs out, as this way you're not putting too much stress on the side of the motorhome or the canopy itself. The legs are clipped in, so just pop it out of the clip and then slide the leg towards you and then swing down. Drop the leg to the ground and then get the canopy at the height you require, and then just tighten here to lock the leg into place. If I now do the same again, and again now lock into place, you'll now see that we have the canopy supported, and I can now continue to wind it out. As you can see, the canopy comes out a good distance. Never use the canopy in high winds, as it does run the risk of being flipped over the roof of the motorhome. And when it comes to putting the canopy away, firstly wind it back in to the point where we drop the legs the first time, pop the legs away, and then continue to wind it back in. Diesel fill just here, and the cap unlocks on the ignition key. Tyre pressures just here on the door pillar. We then have the leisure battery underneath the passenger seat, and the vehicle battery is just located underneath this section of the floor, and bonnet release is just here. The motorhome is alarmed, and this is operated through the main fob itself. So if I now press the lock button, you'll see the indicators will flash once, and you'll also get a chirp. This is just indicating that the two front doors are locked and the alarm is armed. If I now unlock it, two chirps and two flashes indicating that the alarm has been disarmed and both cab doors are open. What you can also do is put the alarm into what is known as pet friendly mode, so the alarm is armed on the outside but disarmed on the inside. And all you need to do this is press the lock button twice. As you can see, you get that high-pitched chirp just indicating that it has been put into pet friendly mode. If I now just unlock it again, and I now just leave the door slightly on ajar, and I now try to lock it and set the alarm, you'll see you'll get a series of high-pitched chirps indicating that something isn't quite right, and this will happen if either the passenger door or the driver's door is not shut correctly, if the bonnet has not been put down, if this habitation door has not been shut properly, as there is a sensor just here, and you also have sensors on both garage doors as well, so again just make sure that they are fully shut.